Infrastructure is crumbling and the problems are only getting worse. The pressure to find solutions is hot. Let's talk about why American cities have no water, no electricity, and no money to fix their infrastructure problems. Welcome to the Infrastructure Hot Seat Podcast, hosted by Chad Smeltzer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Infrastructure Hot Seat Podcast. My name is Chad Smeltzer. I am your host. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the previous 3 episodes. This is going to be episode number 4, where we interview Nick Spann. I think I said it wrong. Nick corrected me on an email. He said it's not Spano, it's Spann, Nick Spann, who is the president of Essential Equipment, located in Houston, Texas, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The company was founded in 2020. They employ roughly 8 people. Their primary products, materials, and services that they provide is the IBAC CCTV inspection camera, GapVac combo trucks and jetters, SL RAT technology, the Vivax MetroTech push cams and locators, Vanguard pathogen defense system, hoses, tools, and accessories, as well as they provide PACP training through those looking to get certified or recertify. The company mission is to, as a team, be willing to continually improve both as professionals and as people in order to earn ourselves the opportunity to improve the lives of our families, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Nick Spann, for joining the podcast. Again, sorry for messing up your name, but here is the episode. I hope you all enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you on episode number 5. Have a great day. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Infrastructure Hot Seat Podcast. My name is Chad Smeltzer. I'm the host. I'm the CEO and founder of BigCamera.com. Today, we have our guest, Nick Spano, with Essential Equipment out of Houston, Texas. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chad. Really excited to do this.
Yeah, me too. It's great to have a fellow founder in the sewer world and starting a company and making a big difference in the sewer and water world that we're in, this time of day and age.
Trying. I thought you were going to say fellow sewer rat, because that's kind of...
That's a good point, because we both have grown up with the sewer SL RAT technology that I'm sure we're going to talk about. But to kind of get us started, Nick, where did you start? Like, how did you get in the sewer industry? What's your history there?
Well, my history was, let's see, I went to college at LSU, go Tigers. And let's see, got my degree in construction management. And, I had a really good time in college. I didn't really maybe prioritize, everything that I should have. Graduated and was kind of floundering for a minute. And through a personal connection, actually my now wife, I got an interview at a local company to Baton Rouge and started on a smoke test crew. So my very first job was doing smoke testing.
Wow.
All down in southern Louisiana. So from there, just kind of escalated and started running, TV inspection equipment, cleaning equipment, started managing projects, going on and on and on. 10 years later, I'd kind of, held a lot of different positions, primarily project manager, and then had the opportunity to start a equipment business.
Nice.
Through a partnership with RapidView, IBAC cameras.
Yeah.
So we started this in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, pretty much.
Yeah. So you're like 2 years old right now, the business.
Yep.
And you guys
we're having our second birthday this month.
That's spectacular. That's great, man. I was going to say, thank you so much for doing this. We need more business owners like you to get out there because, one thing, we're going to get into your construction management background. One thing I found is we need more contractors and equipment, providers to get into this public works and provide more education on equipment, things like that. When you had your experience in construction management and you were doing the smoke testing and stuff like that, what were some of the things you noticed when you first got into the smoke testing? Because I know smoke testing, popping the manholes and putting the blowers in and all that stuff. What are some of the things you noticed right away that was just didn't make sense?
Oh man, just the lack of information that a lot of cities have about their own infrastructure. And it's come a long way. I mean, so this is, 12 years ago that I was first introduced to it all. And admittedly, things are moving in the right direction, but it does seem like compared to a lot of industries, ours is one that does take some extra time to embrace new technologies, to really we need people to keep us moving forward, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of great products and services, um, and even just technical products in general that can be helpful, like GIS. That's been huge in the past decade, right?
Yeah.
I think, I probably started in the industry when that was starting to take hold. And I know that a lot of the big projects that I worked on over the years, GIS was just a crucial piece of that puzzle.
Yeah.
Um, and now but you have to have people that want to be involved in that, because even though now GIS systems and data collection have become accessible from a price standpoint, you have to have people that want to be involved, on the contracting, on the municipal level, that want to help move, especially these like mid and smaller size cities, to move them in that direction.
Yeah. No, totally true. When you did you actually have to go down into a bunch of manholes and stuff like that?
I have been in my fair share of manholes.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's, it's not as bad as, my friends think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
do you do? What is it? Hold
Yeah.
on, what? Like,
Yeah. I
but
dropped 20 feet down, 15 feet down into a manhole, down into where there's a bunch of sewage flow going on.
yeah, it's a
It's
different world down there. I've walked some pretty big tunnels back when we used to do that.
yeah.
Under Nashville, I've walked a big combined sewer there. We did a big storm sewer in New Orleans where we walked it and basically televised it. It was very uneven bottom, a lot of debris. So
Yeah.
we, it's been some interesting experiences for sure. Some good stories.
As long as you got the right gear on, it's not as bad. I remember when my dad had me pushing sludge in one of his sludge tanks, and just one of those stories. I was like 15. I was like, man, this is the worst job in the world. Like, who would ever do this? And then
Right.
obviously I've been in the sewer world for a while after that. But so
Yeah, safety is so important.
yeah,
I can't ever harp on that enough. Like,
yeah, and I couldn't imagine being walking down one of those 96, 106-inch pipes, whatever, and worrying about, is it, is there, what's happening upstream of this,
yeah,
what's going to come down potentially. You never know, right? So, but one of those things, and you said it right, safety is important in our industry because people do get hurt. Some people have, not come out of the sewers, so to speak, and
right.
that's a really dangerous job. So what are the
Yeah,
things you do for
real
your
tragedy
Yeah, it is. It's a huge
that still happens. I mean, from time to too much, right? Because
Right.
it's all preventable. The equipment is really insignificantly priced
Right.
compared to the downside.
Yeah, to not have confined space gear and stuff like that, not invest that. Honestly, I've heard horror stories of just guys rappelling off of a back of a tow hook off the back of a truck. I'm like, what? Who does that? Who thought of that as a smart idea? It's crazy stuff out there. So, in your experience so as far as smoke testing and doing sewer evaluation studies and things like that, how did you land your first job? Like, how were you guys procuring opportunities?
Well, the company I worked for, actually, we're very fortunate. We had a whole team of business development professionals
Got it.
that were out there hustling.
Okay.
And making the connections, meeting people, and that particular company just had a really good reputation for quality work.
Got it.
So there was honestly not a ton of like low bid stuff. A lot of it was like qualifications.
Got it.
Trying to do. The market was more of a specialized, higher end, really like data driven approach.
Okay.
So that kind of put us in a little bit different category than some of just your bottom dollar, buck a foot type
Right.
clean money outfits.
Right.
And there's a space for that. There's nothing wrong with that for sure, but that just wasn't where we had positioned ourselves.
Right. Well, that's good. That's the place where you want to be. Qualified contractor, getting, professional services contracts, things like that, which are very important in the industry. And, I always ask because obviously, I'm in procurement. I've been in sales marketing, for a long time in this space. And that's what you do. You provide a quality service, you get in there and hopefully you get the job. So
Yeah.
in construction management, how has it been dealing with people in general when you were managing, it sounds like 10, 12 years you've been in the field. How was it managing people back then compared to now? How about that?
Well, I would say I'm definitely a forever learner. So
Yeah.
always trying to, improve. I'm not going to say I'm good at it now, but I was not good at it, good at managing when I first started. I mean,
Right.
26 years old, here's a crew of 30 to 50-year-old guys. Here's a front office of people that have been, in the business a lot longer than me. Maybe once upon a time I got sent to, I was politely told that I must attend uh, communicating with diplomacy, I think was the name of the
Wow.
course that I was um, politely forced to go to. So I would say
Interesting.
it's been a struggle. I mean, over the years, I mean, dealing with people is a whole other skill.
Yeah.
I was always construction management. Honestly, they don't focus a ton on the management part. It's a great program, but I mean, I can estimate the heck out of some concrete and some pipe.
Yeah.
Um,
I bet.
but how do you deal with Jim, whose kid is sick for the third time this week, and some of those interpersonal type issues is definitely a whole other ball of wax.
How have you dealt with hiring new people now? A lot of people are having a shortage of skilled labor or workers in general. Have you had any issues with that?
We've been fortunate so far in the technical end of things. So being in around Houston, we're just north of Houston. We have access to a lot of folks from kind of the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
Like one of our technicians his previous job was that he worked on, I don't know that much about it, but some type of downhole gyroscopic equipment, which is extremely technical,
Wow.
extremely intricate. So he's doing great. I mean, this is, a little even simpler for him. And then another tech was from a big kind of instrumentation and controls company. So we've been fortunate in the technical sense to hire some good people in this area who are kind of looking for a smaller, more personable company to work for.
Yeah.
Because we are just a company of like 8 or 9 people.
That's great. I mean, look, finding qualified people, great people, like you just said, or you found so far is very important. What are some of the challenges you're facing right now?
The challenges have definitely been on the sales side.
Okay.
In terms of both, I'm not a salesman. I mean, like we kind of talked about, my history in this industry has been a very hands-on, action-oriented, problem-solving type role,
Yeah.
not a sales role. It's just not something I'm accustomed to doing, not something that, you know, I guess I've had any formal training in.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hire some salespeople, and that's tough because our industry it's a it's overall kind of a small one. I mean, everybody knows everybody.
It is.
It's not that often you meet a lot of totally new connections
Right.
that you don't have someone in common with, right? Like
Right. No, big time.
it's constantly the Kevin Bacon game around here. So
It's true.
it's been a little bit of a struggle to balance finding people within our industry who want a new opportunity versus just bringing in outsiders and going through the motions of training them. We can say training, but really it's transferring knowledge, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's something I've always been big on. Something I've realized from the early days is that the transference of knowledge is probably our generation's biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Getting
So
all that knowledge from the former people, the older guys that are all kind of, you know, going on, exiting the industry. How do we transfer all of that? And yeah, it's definitely a struggle.
do you think we have or had a struggle with, like we were just talking about, baby boomers retiring, but they didn't want to communicate that institutional knowledge that they carried. I think we ran into that where they just didn't want to communicate it because they thought that is valuable. Right now, technology is taking place of all that institutional knowledge that they had. Like they know where that dumpster is or that hydrant is, and that sewer line that ran in the backyard of somebody's house that
Mm-hmm.
has been there for 50 years and no one else know about, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Do you think
Yep.
that there was just a huge communication problem in general?
I think it was a communication problem, but I think kind of from the standpoint of technology has moved so rapidly in
Yeah.
the past 30 years. I mean, it's a full-time job to keep up.
Yeah.
And if you have guys, you know, guys that are, whether they're, the guys actually going to go clean the lines, the guys that are supervising those guys, you had a whole group of people that it wasn't their job to keep up with how to use a CRM or how to input. Oh, they've given me this iPad. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm trying to go get my job done. and certainly we can all appreciate somebody who's out there trying to get work done.
Right.
But I think that there wasn't, and I guess it's management's fault, right? That they didn't inspire that generation of people to value transferring the knowledge.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of like an afterthought. Always I say always. I mean, I'm talking in absolutes, but
Right.
it would appear, given our current situation, that I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I got to go finish my paperwork, right? And
True.
then did we have usable systems? You know, that's why GIS is so cool. I keep going back to that because it's at least like a graphical, you know, system that is easy to recognize and to use.
Yeah.
So we've seen that.
Yeah. So let's go into technology, because I think that's a great thing to talk about, especially now where we're all heading. You know, we have the SL-RAT, where it's an acoustic inspection tool. We grab scores off of pipe sections, just using acoustics as a quick way to evaluate a pipe, and then we have GIS as a data collector for taking those defects and placing them on a GIS map so that everyone knows where they are, that kind of stuff. And then you have this other tech that can just automate all that through AI, just scanning of pipes, bringing back all the defects. Where do you think this is going to end up going down the road, technology wise?
I think it's all going to end up, in the AI realm, eventually. I think that's probably still a little ways off. But just the fact that we can have products like SL-RAT that are taking GPS points, that are automatically creating like a cloud-based knowledge, platform that's
Right.
easy to use, inexpensive, like I was saying, accessible to small and medium-sized cities.
Right.
I mean, besides the benefits of knowing where your blockages are, it's almost worth SL-RAT just to get a map.
Yeah.
I mean,
a small little map. It's just perfect for that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I think it's all gonna. I mean, it's people that are our age that are taking over, and I think for the most part, I think we all see the value in those type of products and services.
Yeah. A lot of us have been experienced to computers in high school and stuff like that. We started out at that booming age of just when computers were getting started. I'm kind of dating myself, in the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s, that kind of stuff, where we got to play on computers. And I think that's
Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Yes. Oregon Trail. Yeah. 100% using DOS systems and stuff like that. So that's always been my intrigue, into technology. And that's how I've grown into this business. And I think it's a huge value for us to grab those data points and utilize those. So how are you creating your own software? Like, where's your technology? Are you using the SL-RAT technology as a way, or are you just, where are you pivoting to on that technology side?
We're looking for companies that value that. So we're partnered with SL-RAT, InfoSense. Those guys are awesome to work with. RapidView and IBOC. I mean, they have a lot of products. They have a line of software, the ICUS software, that they've made a fantastic product that's affordable. Their sort of baseline ICUS recorder. Really inexpensive way for cities to get in there and record these videos and export them to whatever system they're using, all the way up to their full-blown laser profiling software for your larger scale clients. So yeah, we're partnering with the right people that are kind of pushing quality technological products.
Just technologies. One thing I've noticed, I don't know what you think, but I'd love to hear your side of it, is, we lack a centralized system to where, all the data is being contained by multiple I call it fragmented data, right? You got different engineering firms have certain pieces of data. You got the city has certain pieces of data. What's your take on that as far as just data at this point not being centralized?
I think we have a good basis. I'm a NASCO member, the National Association of Sewer Service Companies. I have been a PACP trainer for 6 years now.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not familiar with that, that is the standardized certification to code sewer and stormwater, or any type of really pipelines, for defects and observations. So I've been training those classes for 6 years now, and NASCO really has a solid program, and all the softwares, at least all the big names, they're all NASCO certified, which means, at least for the stuff I'm really familiar with, the coating of pipes, defect coding, all that good stuff, those are all made on a common database. So at least from that end, NASCO has done a good job of not playing favorites, and making sure that everybody who wants to get into the data collection game, at least like the sewer and stormwater end of things,
Right.
they have to make a product that is useful to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah, I think NASCO was a huge benefit to the whole industry when they started that. There need to be a standardization of data and codes.
Yeah.
Because everybody was on a camera, running their robotic cameras down a pipe, and no one had any standardization. It was like, oh, that's a huge, horizontal crack, no big deal, vertical crack, whatever. And they were just giving it different scores, and it was chaos.
Like, yeah, it's broken. It's
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's
just
fractured. It's cracked. Like, there's different words. No, yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
Like-
Right. Yeah. So no, NASCO's been a huge benefit to the industry, and kudos to you for helping that, that organization grow and thrive, because we need it. And a lot of industries actually need it. And hopefully they have, you talk about infrastructure, talk about roads and everything else. Hopefully there is other organizations like NASCO in those different infrastructure departments, so to speak.
Yeah. And I encourage everybody to get involved, because
Yeah.
NASCO has lots. I'm on, I think, actively 2 different NASCO committees.
Okay.
And there's just a lot of ways to volunteer, a lot of ways to help keep moving our industry forward. And it's if we don't take an active part in it, it's not gonna happen nearly as quickly as it could.
It's true. Very true. Where do you think NASCO could go in the future?
Well, I can tell you that one of the committees I sit on is the Workforce Development Committee.
Okay.
And I think easily that's got to be nothing against PACP, nothing against the Infrastructure Assessment Committee or the Government Relations Committee. Those are all also important.
Right.
But if we don't take an active role in bringing new people into our industry, what are we going to do?
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah.
So the Workforce Development Committee is the one I'm most excited about right now.
Yeah. It's needed. So going into that workforce, in general, how do you think we start to educate people in this industry? How do we get people pumped up to get in the sewers? Because it's not sexy at all.
No, it's not. It's not. And you're always going to have people. You can't force people to value what we value, right? And I think what we value is job stability, obviously a good way to make a living, and providing a service that's virtually unknown. I mean, when you encounter your average citizen, I think it's highly likely they literally don't have a concept of what happens when the water goes down the drain. They just don't understand what happens when they flush the toilet.
Right.
So it's going to start with education. It's a good industry too. There's all these ups and downs of the economy. A lot of worries about inflation and all those type of things. I think our industry offers that security that I would hope people are going to be looking for.
Yeah.
And it's not glamorous. So, I think the most glamorous thing about the sewer business is probably that a lot of us now have these fancy influencer lights for when we do Zoom meetings.
Sure.
That's probably the most glamorous part of it. And we're just gonna have to find people that resonates with.
Yeah, no doubt. I was talking to some other people about getting into high schools and start recruiting that way. We need vocational technology schools. We need an infrastructure VOTech school or something put in place.
And that's what this Workforce Development Committee is moving towards.
Right.
It's a huge lift, and it's going to be fantastic because we have a lot of really talented and insanely bright people working on this. But it is an all volunteer organization, so all of us are volunteering our time to try to move this forward. So again, if you're not a NASCO member and you're out there listening to this, become a member, get involved, because it's really like the rising tide, right? It raises all ships, and that's what we're trying to do.
No, you're right on. That's for sure. As we get the future of this sewer industry, wherever it's going, data and service and all kinds of stuff. We need more companies. We really do. We need more contractors. I've noticed that we don't have enough contractors in the space, or a lot of the contractors are getting bought up by private equity groups. What do you think about that?
Oh, I love this topic.
Good. We found a great topic. All right, let's do this. I like it.
Well, I love a lot of these topics.
Yeah,
like my students, when I do teach PACP, I think they're like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is this guy so excited about sewer pipe?
Right.
But that's okay. But the private equity thing is really interesting. I mean, so I would say this. I didn't plan it this way, but the people that I work with, so we are not owned by private equity.
Right.
EBOC or RapidView, the North American distributor, not owned by private equity, family company.
Nice.
GapVax, so we represent GapVax sewer cleaning equipment.
Yeah.
And I can call Gary right now, family owned company.
Nice.
InfoSense, Alex, right? Like,
yeah.
I have, again, I'm not some kind of, business genius. It's sort of worked out this way. But all the people that we work with, there's just a huge benefit to that. I can call the decision makers.
Right.
Like I can email the guy.
Right.
At the major brands that we represent.
Right.
And we can get things done. We can make the decisions that are beneficial to the customer. Like we don't have any bureaucracy. It's just that's the way I like to do things. And
right.
Fortunate. I'm grateful every day that's where I found myself. And it is weird. You got to wonder. I mean, all my competitors are all owned by, New York Stock Exchange companies. I mean,
yeah, that's where the industry has been going the last couple of years.
Yeah, quickly too.
Oh, yeah.
And even on the contracting end.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of talking about the equipment end is happening, but the contracting end, same thing.
Yeah.
There's I don't know. I don't know. It's a little concerning to me. I mean, but I think that should speak to the opportunity that's there in terms of like us attracting talent. You should be like, hey, there must be something to this. All of these, these big private equity groups obviously see that this is a worthwhile investment. They're snatching up every company out there,
right?
If they're not already. A lot of, anyway. I'd say it's concerning, but also reassuring in an odd way.
Well, if you look at it, we're increasing the cost of infrastructure now. You're jacking up. You have limited competitors in the space, all controlled by potentially 3 or 4, 5, 6 big private equity groups potentially down the road. It could head that way, right? And now you have costs.
I don't have a count on it, but
all your costs are going to go up because it's controlled now, and it's going to all the engineering estimates as of inflation. See how it's skyrocketing now. How off the engineering estimates are based on our projects that we need to get done. So I think once that private equity gets more involved and buys up a lot more contractors, you're going to see the increase of costs for sewer, just capital projects, just skyrocket over a period of time. Hopefully not, but we'll see where it goes. I'm just curious on your thoughts on that one. Yeah. So,
man, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that we're seeing such a I would say it seems quick, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, I think so.
It feels quick, at least. Maybe it's not, but I guess I don't know. I would just hope that municipalities would be encouraging local companies to do the work for them and to encourage that.
Yeah, you think of the economic benefits of that. That's why I came up with BidCurement as a procurement system to help localized contractors find bidding projects, right, that they could bid on.
Yeah.
So, if you're not putting the money back into your community, you're creating your economic sustainability is kind of leaving your community. I mean, look, you're funding bigger companies that are located in California, New York, or wherever. You're giving them the taxpayer dollars to repair your infrastructure. So that could
and there's a gray area to that, right? Like
it is.
If the local contractors in turn, they are going to have to step up in terms of quality of equipment and quality of training and how involved they are with staying on top of our new technologies and the new what's new in the industry, because the cities will demand that, right?
Right.
And maybe there's a happy medium and everything. There's plenty of, well, geez, I was gonna say there's plenty of regional companies that, kind of ride that line between local and big corporations.
Right.
But really, no, never mind. There's not. They've all been bought.
The last 3 years, it's been nonstop. You're talking, Coley Construction in Indiana. Granite Construction's buying up all these. Nothing against it. I get it. It's just the world we live in. Yeah, if it's available, buy it. I get it. I'm just saying, like, how do we promote locally then and get jobs done faster when it takes you maybe 6 months for you to get a crew to a city to get infrastructure repaired or replaced if it's an emergency too? How's this all going to happen? So
yeah, even on our end, the crew's down, we need a new XYZ. Oh, let me call our purchasing guy in California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
California.
All right.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of time left, Nick, and we're probably going to need more time down the road to do another podcast and talk about another topic in the industry.
Yeah.
But that's, talk a little bit about like how to get in touch with Essential Equipment, where to reach out to you, how do we connect?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Well, we're on all your standard social media platforms, LinkedIn. We have our website, which has a contact form, essentialequipment.com.
Nice.
We hit up the local trade shows, APWA, Texas Municipal League, Texas Water, so you can get through there or through our manufacturers' websites, like I said, rapidview.com, gapvax.com, or just reach out to me via email, nick@essentialequipment.com.
Nice. Hopefully you won't get too many spam emails.
Oh, it's already, I know,
mine's the same too.
I spend half my day deleting emails.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining this podcast, and we'll be sure to connect again and have another one.
Yeah, anytime, Chad. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the Infrastructure Hot Seat Podcast. We hope that this show brought you some insight on relevant topics within the infrastructure world. Please join us every 2 weeks on Tuesday for the next episode. If you're interested in being a guest on this podcast, please set up a 15-minute interview with your host at calendly.com/Chad Smeltzer.